Too many tools, not enough clarity. If your nonprofit's data is scattered, your month-end close is suffering. Let's fix the fragmentation and speed things up. Hi, I'm Teresa Clark, and I'm a seasoned CPA with 30 years dedicated to serving 501c3 nonprofits. I have experience both as an internal CFO and an external auditor for nonprofits. So I bring a unique perspective to what it really takes to be a thriving nonprofit. To learn more, you can jump in and explore my website at teresaclark.com. As nonprofits grow, so do the number of tools and platforms that you're using to manage day-to-day operations. You have one system for payroll, another for donor management, a separate one for grant management, or a spreadsheet or two combined in between. Well, each tool might serve a purpose, but these fragmented systems can actually wreak havoc on your month-end close. When your financial data is spread across disconnected platforms, reconciling it becomes slow, tedious, and error-prone. That's why we want to explore today the idea of fragmented data and how it creates friction and how you as a nonprofit can actually bring it all together. So what is fragmented financial data? Well, fragmented data happens when key financial details like expenses and donations and payroll and invoices are stored in separate, unintegrated systems. Here's a couple of ways this shows up. Maybe it's a donor CRM or donor management system that doesn't sync with your accounting software. Or maybe it's a payroll provider that exports reports, but they're in a different format than what you can bring into your GL. Maybe it's multiple spreadsheets tracking program budgets manually. Finance teams can be manually consolidating reports at the month end. So in short, your data might exist, but it may just be so scattered. So let's talk about this, how the scattered stuff, these fragmented systems, can hurt your month-end close. When your financial systems don't talk to each other, the month-end process can slow to a crawl. And here's a few of those reasons why. Maybe it's manual data transfers. Maybe your staff are spending hours pulling data from one system and then re-entering it into another, which really can drive up the risk of mistakes. And I'll also say fraud. I had a situation happen to me in a manual data transfer where payroll information was distorted and it was actually becoming a cover up for someone who was skimming off some money through the payroll system because of this lack of automation and integration. The next thing is inconsistent data formats. Sometimes different platforms categorize transactions differently, and they'll force your finance team to have to clean up data, recode data, manually modify it in order to get it into the financial records. Another reason is delayed visibility. You can't get a real-time snapshot of your financial health if this information is spread out across multiple locations. And then there's bottlenecks and burnout. Team members waste time chasing down reports, getting clarifications, making corrections, time that really could be spent on more forward-looking things like strategy and analysis, or maybe even fundraising. In fact, I bet every nonprofit organization that has one person at least who feels like all they do is nag their coworkers for information for at least a week, maybe even a month, every time they need to finish their job. So is that fulfilling work? I mean, who wants to do that? Who wants to be known as the nag? Not me. That's why we want to fix this. So how do you fix fragmented financial systems? Remember, you don't have to start from scratch, but you do need to connect the dots. So here's some ideas on how to bring your systems and your teams together. Number one, choose a software that integrates. You want to look for a financial platform that plays nicely with the other things that you have. So one that will integrate well with your CRM, your donor tools, your accounts payable and spending expense processes, your payroll, your grant systems. You want a software that integrates. Number two, centralize your chart of accounts. See, sometimes you just need to slow down, rethink it, and strategize how to categorize your revenue and expenses across your systems to make sure there's consistency and then reduce the amount of rework that has to be done during your month-end close and reconciliations. Through number three, I want to talk about implementing real-time dashboards. Yes, you can connect your tools, if you get the right ones, to a dashboard platform that will help you update and see your financial transactions as they happen. This can give your leadership instant insight, and it'll help prevent some of those surprises at month end. Number four, audit your tech stack annually. Yeah, annually, every year. Take a look at the tools you're using and ask, do they still meet our needs? And then maybe there's a new platform out there. Maybe there's a new tool that does it better and has new enhanced features. So maybe you want to invest the time to find a new platform that will save you time. And maybe it's time just to go ahead and switch or make some upgrades. So, why are we doing this? It's because of the mission impact. When financial systems are fragmented, so is your ability to plan, to pivot, and even to communicate with your stakeholders. By fixing this disconnection that's happening behind the scenes, you free up your team to focus on what really matters, and that's delivering your mission. Okay, well, in the final video of this series, we're going to tackle a nonprofit classic, over-reliance on spreadsheets. They're familiar, they're flexible, but they're often the biggest barrier to an efficient month-end close. So make sure you're subscribed where you're watching this video so that you get notification about next week's video, part 5, still using spreadsheets for month end. Here's what's costing you. And if you have a specific question related to your nonprofit's finances, you don't have to wait for next week. I want you to know I'm here for you anytime you need me. You can book a strategic consultation with me through my website, teresaclark.com, or by clicking the link in the description right below this video. I look forward to serving you.